Time now for our Truth or Fake segment, where we debunk fake news stories circulating on the internet. I'm joined by France 24's Vedika Bal. Vedika, today you'll be fact-checking an exciting story. People online are pointing fingers at Bill Gates for egg scarcity in the US. What more can you tell us?
Exactly, Rochelle. Social media posts and articles have linked Bill Gates to egg shortages across the US. The main theory seems to be that the billionaire invested in artificial eggs beforehand. So let's take a look at what we're looking at here. Now, this is an article that I think was probably the most prevalent article that I could find in people behind these claims. This is by News Punch. And they say that Bill Gates invested in artificial eggs beforehand, before the egg shortage and the price hike. However, disclaimer that this website has previously been linked quite a few times to misinformation and fake news. But another site called Gateway Pundit made the same parallels. And the main theory here is sort of that Bill Gates' investment in these industries is kind of involved in the shortages that people are clearly experiencing in the US. They claim that prices of eggs have spiked 66% since last year. And people were now turning to plant-based eggs, egg replacement solutions as a way out because they can no longer afford real eggs. So this is really implying some kind of profit strategy behind it by Bill Gates to sort of price people out, hence his investment beforehand in artificial eggs and the industry. Now, social media users were in a scramble with this. Let's take a quick look at that. This user has nearly 3 million views there on this tweet. And in this tweet, he's compiled sort of a list previously of Bill Gates's interviews and articles where he's spoken of the future of eggs in a world suffering a climate crisis. We also have difficulties in production and cruelty in production, and in a world where people may turn to alternatives. And by compiling all of these, there were many people that reshared this and followed this same narrative and used this as sort of proof of Bill Gates's involvement in this theory. Now, the last tweet I'm going to show you does have quite a graphic illustration attached to it. Bill Gates as the Joker holding a syringe. I'm assuming that this is sort of a jab, no pun intended, at previous theories linking Bill Gates's funding in the vaccine industry. But this user's gone on to discuss a timeline here of Gates investing in plant-based eggs, poultry and meat, and then later on becoming the largest private farmland owner in the US, and then how that coincides with a mass chicken and egg shortage in American farms. So again, really pushing this narrative that this is sort of a long game strategy for Bill Gates to sort of earn money back through his investments.
Right, Vedika, let me get this straight. According to these claims, Bill Gates has invested kind of massively in these agricultural industries. What more can you tell us about that? How does this investment come about?
Yes, well, Bill Gates does have large investments in plant-based alternatives, but he also does have large investments in agriculture and farming in general. In 2014, he backed the company Hampton Creek, which was it was a specialist in egg-free and egg replacement products. That company then rebranded into Eat Just, which is one of the largest American names for eggless and egg replacements products, as well as the first government-approved vendor of lab-grown chicken. And, you know, Bill Gates himself is an environmentalist. He's been very vocal about the climate, about his interest in fake meat and synthesized meat. He's also invested in Impossible Foods and Beyond Meat. And whilst his involvement in plant-based alternatives are true, so is his investment in farmland. Now, it was reported in 2021's land report in a annual landowner survey that he'd amassed nearly 270,000 acres, which made him the largest farmland owner in the US. Now, that is a massive amount of land. However, the Associated Press has indeed fact-checked this, and they say that whilst he is a massive private landowner, he is far from being America's #1 by any means. And Bill Gates has also gone on the record to refute conspiracy theories like this about why he's acquiring so much farmland. It must also be something to do with having a lot of money, but he says it's mainly for climate purposes, which links back to his environmentalist interest there.
All right, so after all of this research that you've taken us through very kindly, have you cracked it? Is there any evidence to these online claims, Vedika?
Yes, there is indeed an explanation behind it all. According to the CDC, that is America's Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, this is a live screenshot from their website, which of course is live and updated regularly with those numbers there. They say that more than 58 million birds were struck since early last year by aviary influenza or bird flu in the US. And according to Li Longchai, who is an assistant professor at the Georgia Agricultural School, he told the Associated Press that this is the reason and this is the contributing factor to the national egg shortage in the US. He also quoted to AP as well, discussing the COVID-19 outbreak and the difficulties that had on egg farmers, on the poultry farmers. The recovery from that has been very, very difficult for many and much harder than expected. And of course, we cannot also exaggerate the rising fuel prices and the shortage of bird feed caused by Russia's invasion of Ukraine.
All right, Vedika, that is exactly what we like to see in our Truth or Fake segment. Thank you for debunking those claims for us this evening. Thanks, Vedika.